So today's look is a post-apocalyptic survivor kind of look, somewhat inspired by Mad Max. I watched it recently and I was like, I kind of want to do something like that. Post-apocalyptic worlds and games and films and things are always my favourites visually, so I've always wanted to have a go at creating a character who looks like she could have just walked out of one of those films or games. So I'm starting with a bare face, apart from my brows and mascara that I was just wearing this day. I didn't want to add any foundation or concealer or anything, so I'm just going to go straight in with a contour, which of course is up to you whether you do it or not. I just know how that's going to translate on camera, and I know how I want my face to photograph. Next, I went in with a bronzer, a few shades darker than my usual bronzer shade, and I used it as an actual bronzer this time on the high points of my face. Kind of to make it look like I had a patchy tan almost, like she'd been out in the sun for a very long time and she doesn't have proper shelter. So that's also why I added freckles as well, because ever since my 1940s video where I did freckles, I've kind of been in love with them and I've been looking for any excuse to wear them. So when people are in the sun for long amounts of times, sometimes their freckles show a lot more, so that's what I did for my character. And remember, with freckles, they're often different colours and they're not perfect circles, so try to keep them varied and not very uniform. I also use a damp sponge to soften the edges and make them look like part of the skin. You can also do this, you can go over with foundation if you wanted to, just a tiny bit of foundation, and that's going to make it look like part of the skin more as well. Moving on to the brows, the reason I left them filled in is because I was going to add to them anyway and make them look bigger and unplucked and gorgeous looking, and I'm adding thin strokes to simulate hair. First at the front of the brow and then also the tail. You want to take note of which way your eyebrows grow as well, they don't all grow in one direction, so try to follow that as well to make it look a lot more believable. So next I added some scars because of course I wanted my character to look like she'd been through some shit, you know. I also just love scars, so I covered her from head to foot in them. So you want to take a lip liner, eyeliner, paint, or anything that's the same colour as how your scars turn out, which I guess is a little bit different for everyone, so adapt it to suit you. Or you can just do whatever, I guess. You could literally do your scars blue if you wanted to. Cosplay is all about escapism, right? So you just do you. But for me, this is the colour I decided to go for. To get the depth here, I'm going to be using Rigid Collodion, which is a great scarring liquid, and you don't need to be precious with it, you just need to apply it on top of the scars that you've just created. And it's going to start working immediately. That's really all there is to it. The more layers you put on, the deeper the scars are going to get, and the scars are going to get deeper in more fleshy areas. So around my jaw, for example, that one was super deep, whereas the ones on my nose and like the hard parts of my forehead don't really get very deep. A couple of things I want to point out: please don't put this on hair, and please, sweet God, do not put this near your eyeballs. This stuff contracts the surface you put it on to create the depth, so eyes are an absolute no-no, just stay away from them. The last time I used this in a video, I also got a useful comment from someone saying that if you use a base of something like Post-aid, that'll help prevent it damaging the skin, because if your skin's sensitive, this can leave red marks sometimes, so you could try that as well if you wanted to. Of course, I wanted to add some dirt, so I did that with a mixture of brown and black eyeshadow, which is really simple. I just got a sponge, pulled some bits out, so the application would be choppy and muddy, and that's really all I did. I did the brown first and then went in with the black. For the eyes, I wanted to create a mask that looked like it had been applied with dirt or ash or something, so I started with a brown eyeshadow again. I used a fluffy brush to go around my eyes, and then I also brought it out at the edges and faded it upwards before going in with a black eyeshadow as well. I dragged this downwards and upwards to make it look worn and smudged, and then I also wanted to add some streaks as though she'd applied it with her fingers, so I just did that. I smushed my fingers in the product and then I swiped it across the lids. But then that's it really. I had planned to add piercings and maybe some more damage, but I absolutely loved how everything was looking, so I decided to keep it as it was, simple as it is. But I quite like that it's nice and simple because a lot of my videos aren't, so this is something you can literally throw on in about 15 minutes if you wanted to, and you'll be good to go. I really hope you liked this video, and thank you guys for watching. Bye.